Nick and Mario from Chick Chick Chick. Welcome to Triple R once again, and back to Australia indeed. Once again, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And first time I'd seen you play at Laneway's the other night. I know it's been a pretty fast and furious tour. Amazing show. You only had a really short period on stage, but you kind of came out burning rubber.
Yeah.
So obviously well schooled in getting audiences up and running fast. You know?
Yeah. No, it was fun. I think we thought that was the best that we played on the tour. Actually,
Yeah,
right?
so far it's been the top.
Yeah, that was a really fun one for us.
The top show.
Sure.
It was a shame it had to be cut so short, wasn't it? Because of, I suppose, noise restrictions in the area.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It struck me watching you the other night, just the response of the crowd to the band, that over the years, learning how to play live, how to get the audience dancing, seeing what people respond to in terms of your songs must have somehow sort of shaped the direction of the band. It's a very sort of symbiotic kind of process, isn't it? Can you tell us a little bit about, that sort of evolution of the band alongside the live show?
Well, it's funny because actually for the first 7 years of the band, we opened every single show with a jam. So that was kind of like, it was kind of interesting because I mean I loved it because a lot of times we would reach these incredible points that you couldn't normally hit, and but as soon as we started doing festivals, if a bad jam could really be like kind of set risky. The tone for the whole show, and so I kind of do miss that in a way, but actually, especially like a show the other night, to just walk on stage and start kicking ass is feels really good. But yes, I mean we've definitely learned over the years, like, I mean you can't not you do anything for the song, you just figure out how to do it right,
Yeah,
so
but
it's,
some songs work better live than others, obviously, and it's a bit of a learning process, I suppose, when you develop something in the studio to try to take that to the stage.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what I'm asking in the sense of the sort of percussive elements of the very first release right through to what you're doing now, the latest album, which is very much a kind of high-octane sort of funk affair, that a lot of that must have been shaped perhaps by the experience of playing live over those years and getting tighter, perhaps?
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure. Yeah.
Learning how to I don't know, write songs more, I suppose, the craft of songwriting. Can you tell us, just that sort of how that's worked over the years?
No. I mean, yeah, for sure. You notice what works, and you find out the hard way when something doesn't work live.
Yes.
So it's a trial by fire that we have the scars from.
Yes. Has it been very different touring on the new album, Strange Weather, isn't it, than the earlier releases?
Nope, same old tour.
Yeah.
No.
Same old show, different songs.
No, it really does feel like people have said it's some of the best shows they've seen us play this year. So, which was really exciting for us to be 14 years old as a band and doing that well. That was like, wow, really? But it was like after hearing it a number of times, it's like, okay, yeah, it does make sense. We did kind of feel like our power more. So, how
has it changed the live show over the years? Can you remember back to when you first started and the sort of intent you had?
Well, I mean,
there's the jamming.
There's the jamming, and there's just different people that we're physically in the band with. So that's definitely sort of, I think, focus everything a lot more.
Yeah.
And I think that growing up together, jamming a lot, it kind of, I don't know, maybe contributed to us being a bit loose and kind of, I don't know, the moodiness or taking things for granted or something kind of crept in. And I think now everybody, for the most part, is pretty focused, and it's kind of re-energized what we do live now. I don't know, that's the way that I've kind of felt that we've been pretty focused, and hence, like, we can come out and just go for it, and there really isn't much time to ramp up or anything like that.
Has it been hard to sort of capture the essence of that live show in studio? Is it something you've tried to do, or have you sort of consciously tried to treat it differently?
I think we discuss it every time we go into the studio, like, how are we going to make this one more live? It's an ongoing struggle, but I mean, it feels good to have something still struggle for and try to achieve, but yeah, I mean, you've always got to be making it better somehow. I think we're always striving to make it liver.
Yes, yeah. Can we talk about some of the influences at play? Because it wasn't really until I saw you live the other night that I had a sort of heightened sense of perhaps the tradition that you were coming from. And in particular, I was thinking of a lot of New York bands. You know, I was thinking of everything from Talking Heads through to Liquid to Arthur Russell to maybe even Chic, things like that. And all of that stuff seemed to me to be ever present within the sound. And was that sort of something that was always there in Chick Chick Chick, or because you're such a kind of amalgam of different things?
Yeah.
Chic was
the starting point. Yeah.
Were they? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, we didn't really have much of a sense of what represented New York when we started. It was just Chic, James Brown, and
JBs.
Those were we wanted to be. We were playing in noise and punk influenced bands.
That,
and we wanted to see if we could adapt that into something that would make us, move in a more traditional sense. It was just more fun to explore those that path than to try and take noise or more hardcore stuff further. We couldn't see we weren't going to be good at doing that, so we went with what we thought we were going to be the best at. So
there weren't many bands kind of doing that 15 years ago.
There was no one.
No.
That's the truth, Ruth.
We literally had to. There's no every show we were completely the odd band out, and it was definitely. It felt like a struggle a lot of the times.
What sort of venue? I mean, it must have been hard for promoters knowing where to put you.
We played kitchens in, South Dakota.
I mean, we were doing the basement punk tour, playing to 8 people in a basement. We did that for a while, and that wasn't a perfect fit, because I mean, we were attracted to the open-mindedness of punk, and that's why we were punks. But punk, there's also the contingent of it's very dogmatic, so there's a lot of people that were just like, this is not okay and this is not cool. But it was kind of like a good litmus test for people, because the people who you would actually be friends with were the people who got it just instantly, and loved it and would dance, so it was just a really different perspective to have on it than we do now. We really felt like we had this mission to bring this sound to the world, and now we've done it.
At the time that we were going, I mean, the sort of scene that we came out of was kind of looking for something. People were kind of looking for something new. There was different, people were doing retro rock stuff, discovering the Rolling Stones and trying to make bands that sound like the Rolling Stones. And so, there were some opportunities to, I don't know, sort of excel at other various twisted forms.
Are you talking in California?
Yeah.
Are you from Sacramento too?
Yeah.
So you both kind of have known each other for a long time?
Yeah. The band formed in Sacramento, and then about 10 years ago, most of us moved to New York.
She had eyes that I couldn't ignore. I chatted her up out on the dance floor. She was out of cigarettes, so I walked her to the store. Skirt pulled up, push against the wall, but she pauses just to take a call. Joanne says, "Well, what the fuck are you doing? All day boy's gonna be over." As I'm kissing from her neck to her ear. Well, if anything, man, I mean it back. Girl, please, I'm over that. Anyways, let me call you back. Why? 'Cause it's all beginning to sound like a rap. Sometimes just one of those nights, and you never had it happen to you. Then you go home too soon, go home too soon. You can blame it on the music, but it wouldn't be right. It's got like it's just a really bad tune. It must be the moon, must be the moon, must be the moon. cause she looked into my eyes and she said a good time. Good time. She kissed me on the stairs and she kissed me on the porch. Kissed me as a phone with the key in the front door. 1 time, 2 time, 3 times, 4. Really, who was keeping score? We did it on the bed and we did it on the floor. So I was surprised when I got the cold shoulder next morning. Said you just got me high, finished up while you were snoring. Sometimes it's one of those nights, and you never had it happen to you. Then you go home too soon, go home too soon. You've been playing on the music, but it wouldn't be right. It's got like it's just a really bad tune. Must be the moon, must be the moon, must be the. Sometimes it's one of those nights, and you never had it happen to you. Then you go home too soon, go home too soon. You've been playing on the music, but it wouldn't be right. It's got like it's just a really bad tune. Must be the moon, must be the moon, must be the.
10 minutes after 5 o'clock on Triple R, Kinky Afro, Karen till 7. I'm talking with Nick and Mario from Chick Chick Chick.
Must be the moonlight, must be the moonlight, must be the moonlight, it must be the moonlight. Must be, must be the, must be, must be the, must be, must be the moon. Must be, must be the, must be, must be the, must be the moon.
Back in the 80s, when there was a lot of, the punk and rock stuff in California, but there was also the emergence of groups that were into sort of ska and dub. There was Fishbone and the Chili Peppers, and these bands that really valued, funk, I suppose.
Yeah.
Were they influential on you growing up, or were you not really kind of aware of that scene?
I think definitely a few of us played in ska bands and stuff, and we were into that. But funk, like those groups, I don't think we kind of always had to like separate ourselves from those. We felt like that a bit different from that. I mean, I liked Fishbone when they were ska, but then when I remember when they they had that song Freddy's Dead, and I was always like
Curtis Mayfield.
And then I remember the morning I first heard the original, and I was just like, I was blown away by it. I was like, this is what I wanted, this is what I wanted all along. So that stuff just didn't really hit any of us really, but
Right, okay.
but it obviously has its merit, and I like Chili Peppers ballads.
You toured
I don't
with
like
them,
their,
didn't you? Was that was that a fun tour to be on, or
It was a blast.
Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good time.
didn't find a kind of massive cultural difference between what you guys were up to and the
No,
crowd, or
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Well, the crowd.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
that was back to playing to on a much larger scale to people that just didn't really want to.
Yeah.
They did not want to see you, and that was pretty much clear as soon as you took the
Right.
stage.
The Chili Peppers are much more intelligent than their audience.
Yeah.
They
I think,
get music that their audience doesn't. So
I think Sonic Youth said much the same thing when they were on their Neil Young tour,
yeah,
and found this kind of
Yeah.
crazy disparity between the audience and what they were up to.
yeah, sure.
Nick, you used to play in Outhood,
Mm.
in New York, which a band I really liked. Well, they were around, and it seems like the sensibility of dance music is another element, obviously, that's in Chick Chick Chick. Can you tell us a bit about just bringing that into what you're doing with Chick Chick Chick? I don't know how you capture that in the studio.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was like when we started, because we were punks too, and we were dogmatic too, and we were a bit against electronic music and things like that, but just in kind of like that quest for the funk, it led us to house and techno and electronic music. So it was kind of like just this road we kept following down and deeper, and so with Outhead, Outhead had very much begun when we started both bands. Like Chick 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 was called the funk band, and Outhead was called the dub band, and as in Outhead's further search for dub, we kind of fell into disco and dance and stuff, because that was still dub related. I mean, you couldn't have like minimal techno today without dub. It's very much built upon that. So those things kind of linked and kind of led both those bands on, and kind of breathed new life into both those bands, and kept those bands going on. It's what has made us continue today.
So when Outhood finished, did that sensibility come more into Chick Chick Chick?
I guess, I mean, they're such separate things. There's both like, it's like, I guess, it's like going out with two girls. You build something with each of them. It's totally different, and it doesn't necessarily the relationship you have with each one. I mean, you grow and you change from that, but it pretty much stays separate from the other one.
Yeah. Okay. Have you started writing material for a new album yet, or where are things going for Chick Chick Chick?
We are actually in 3 days' time flying home to begin work on the new record.
Oh, is that
So,
right?
yeah.
Fantastic. And when you say home, everyone's spread across the states, aren't they? Are you all kind of...
But I'm gonna crash on Mario's couch for 3 weeks.
Right.
And
So you're in New York and you're in...
I'm in California. Yeah.
Okay. So the writing process involves both of you in the same room working together, or do you send material back and forth?
Well, I mean, we do a lot of jamming. I think we'll set things up for Nick and I to jam with, and Paul's going to be with us as well. So we'll see how it goes. It's usually always the foundation of maybe kind of taking something that's really half baked and then just playing it for hours and seeing how it develops, if it can develop, and see how you react off of each other. So yeah, it's really always been a fundamental part of what we do, and it obviously requires us being in the same room and stuff like that.
Yeah, we
That's
haven't
so
figured out
old-fashioned of you, isn't it?
we haven't figured out how to jam on Skype yet or anything.
Yeah.
So it's the next step, I guess.
You recorded the last album was it Nashville? You kind of...
No,
Was it
we
Myth
started
Takes?
Myth Takes in Nashville,
Right, okay.
And that was fantastic. We started this in Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why was that?
Because it rules.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Well, and at the time we had a member who was living there, so
Okay.
since we don't live in the same town, we need to pick somebody's town. It was like, well, Tyler's in Berlin, let's go there.
Yeah, why not? Any
Because it rules.
excuse, yeah.
So
And the lineup these days, same lineup for the next release, because your live show has some ring-ins, doesn't it? So is that right? Yeah, it's just sort of slightly expanded kind of thing.
who can say who's going to be there at the end of the record? I mean,
Yeah.
as far as I know, that's where we're going into it with this lineup. So we'll see who's standing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a trial and error process, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks a lot for
Yeah.
coming in
Of course.
today.
Cool.
And are you heading back to the
Going
States like now? Or you got another show
yeah,
tonight, of course.
Yeah, we got a show tonight, and
Show
then
tonight. A couple more shows on Laneway,
yeah.
Adelaide, and Perth, and
Yeah.
then we go home.
Yep, and it's been a fun time this time in Australia.
it's one of the funnest.
It's been a cakewalk.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a cakewalk,
Yeah.
but it's
Biscuit
been really
walk.
fun.
It's been a biscuit walk.
I would call it a biscuit walk.
Right.
Who's been the unmissable act on Laneways aside from yourselves? Who have you enjoyed?
I think, both of us have really enjoyed Deer Hunter when I've been
Yeah.
ll to see it. I thought Ariel Pink was fantastic. I thought
Yeah, I
Beach
thought he
House-
was too. We both thought him
We
too.
both thought, and another one I thought was great was Beach House. I thought Beach House was really great.
I thought they were cool.
They were cool. And who else? Warp, you guys.
Les Savvy
saw
Ferv
Warp
put
Pink?
in a great show.
Yeah,
at,
Savi Fab
Always
brings
does.
it. They
Yeah.
really do.
I think feel like I've been saying this a million times over, but I mean the lineup has just been.
It's been a good
Yeah,
lineup
yeah.
this
It's
year.
I think it's legendary.
And it's just so many. There's so many great bands. Warpaint is. I actually hadn't seen them, but I went to one of their off night gigs, and I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Before you go, can I have some Desert Island discs between you? 10 unforgettable albums you can't travel without.
Okay, let's go. You, then me. You, then me. That would give us time to think in between. But don't listen to what I'm saying, or me, then you.
Well, one I've been listening to like crazy is For Sale by Love. I listen to it all the time now, and it's one of my favorite records.
And I always say first Sly Stone. There's a riot going on. I never get tired of it. I'll go again.
Yeah.
Another one for me is I always say is Black Uhuru Red. And for me, it's the same as Sly and the Family Stone because I just keep returning to it. Like I've heard it when I was a teenager. I keep going back to it, and both of those albums just have a lot of depth that you could just never fully get your head around. So
Yes.
I just love that record so much.
Aretha Franklin, I Never Loved a Man.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's completely solid. While It's on My Mind, Stevie Wonder. I absolutely love Signed, Sealed, Delivered.
Okay.
I think it's. I mean, of all, he's got every
Many
record
great
is
albums,
so
yeah.
great. I mean, that's one that I always like takes me on a. It always makes every song just makes me like super happy. So
Yeah.
Hey, and that's what you want from
that's
a
what I
record.
want from a
right,
record. And if I'm stranded on a desert island, I need some happiness.
Well, so I would match those two, and I would go Stevie Wonder for Once in My Life. I mean, I love Signed and Sealed as well, but that's the one I always go to. And I would also go with Aretha Franklin's Sparkle, which is a great morning record. She made it with Curtis Mayfield, and it's like when I listen to it, I just give thanks that there's a world where Aretha and Curtis got together and made a record, because it's so good.
One more each, I reckon.
I really like a record by Luomo called Vocal City.
Yeah.
Another
Sort of
record.
warm, deep kind of techie house stuff.
Yeah. And again, I'm I just never get tired of it, and I return to it. It's so deep, and there's so much in it for me to find. So those, I mean, songs like the Smiths. I mean, I love the Smiths, but I mean, I haven't listened to them since high school. It's like it's there, and I guess there's plenty of. It's just not as much for me to discover as there is in that record, where everything's murky, and you have to kind of peer behind the nooks and crannies of it to really fully understand it.
One more from you, Mario. What about a punk album?
A punk album. I mean, I guess this, a Stooges. I'd probably go bring a Stooges record. I'd go between. It's probably Funhouse, although I probably listen to the very first part of Raw Power more than any other Stooges record. But Funhouse is probably.
I'll see his Funhouse, and
you'll raise it.
Yeah,
you'll raise it. The Clash.
and I'll just go with I'll go with the Idiot by Iggy Pop.
Okay.
That one.
Right.
Well, you did say
fun.
Berlin Rules, so
Yeah.
and that
was definitely like one of the first records I was like, God, it would be cool to make a record in Berlin. So that was I heard that record after I was actually born in Berlin, but I lived there for a year and I didn't remember it. But after I first returned to it, and I heard that record like a week later, and I was just like, it was exactly how I felt about it. I just loved it. So yes,
and it's quite an unusual album, really, in the sound of it, and kind
of
the left turn that he made in terms of making that album.
It's just somehow strange. Like it's just very rock and roll, but somehow just wrong. Like that's him and Bowie
Bowie and Eno cooking up, mischief.
Yeah. Good mischief, for sure.
That's right. All right, that's a nice insight into your record collections, and a good way to survive on a desert island. Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, you're safe coming to our island. You're gonna be good.
Well entertained, yes. See ya.
All right, take care.